Hi everyone, welcome to Jack Stedman Rants. I'm Jack Stedman, and I will be ranting about belief and why I don't uh, have any. So, here are my two main arguments really against belief in general, not any specific religion or denomination, but I guess just as a background, I was raised in a Catholic household. I was brought to church into my early teens. I went to Catholic summer camp, I think two summers in my youth, and had some extracurricular stuff in grade and high school that was like Sunday school type stuff. Um, so that's kind of the tradition I'm coming out of. I it I guess yeah, I'll just give you my whole background just so this kind of has context. I when I was young, I had like a soft belief in God, because that's what my parents and church and grandparents, whatever, and siblings even to this day believed in, and I was told to pray, and we still pray at dinner time and whatever. Um, so I would pray and not hear anything back. It felt a lot like thinking. Um, so I started to become uh, skeptical of God. So I did that thing that a lot of people would do. I'd pray for God to, give me a sign, uh, do something to physically move an object in the room. Like right now, just like say something, make me make me hear voices in my head, you know. Um, and that wouldn't happen. So after a while, I just kind of uh, became wise to the fact that at least Catholicism specifically seemed to be a load of bull, as it were, and didn't really make sense to me. Um, so as I got into high school, I took a philosophy of religion class, and we read The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, which was really big for me in kind of forming my atheistic uh, identity is probably a strong word, but to help me kind of solidify my arguments against religion, and kind of really form a proper theory of my own atheism. Um, and it wasn't just a one-sided class. Just so you know, we also read stuff on the other side. We read What's So Great About Christianity by Dinesh D'Souza, which was pro-Christianity. And I remember hating that book and just finding problems with every argument it made. But anyway, um, so I've come through that, and I've watched hours and hours of Hitchens and Harris and Krauss and Dawkins debating various religious scholars, and also I'm in that kind of uh, Dave Rubino sphere, um, of trying to spread um, uh, criticism of Islam. I find a lot of agreement with the kind of Ayan Hirsi Ali, Majid Nawaz, Sam Harris, uh, David Rubin, um, Bill Maher take on Islam. That's kind of where I stand. I don't like it, but I'm not saying I don't like the people necessarily. But anyway, just to get back to general terms, here is why I don't believe in a god. Number one is the problem of evil. This isn't my original argument. Obviously, you probably heard this, and if you took a philosophy of religion class or whatever. But there, there have been many, many, many human beings, supposedly children of God, creations of God, with souls that He loves, um, who have led short, miserable lives full of suffering. There's been so many children who their whole lives are just sickness, starvation, and uh, death. And to think that a God is responsible for a world where that happens to children, they're innocent. That it's hard to make an argument for children that are innocent, that aren't innocent in at least society's eyes, maybe not God's. Um, so it's hard to believe in a God when this world can be so harsh and unforgiving to individuals who clearly don't deserve it. Even just thinking about the nature of nature, before human civilization, if you were a living thing, you had a shitty life. You lived in, a cave and got eaten, or, it just beggars belief that a God that cares at all about us would make the world that we live in so friggin' difficult. So that's kind of part one. Part two of my atheism is where the heck has God been? Where have miracles been? Why did they all kind of happen a couple thousand years ago when we didn't have the internet or really understand a lot of science? Why did God show up for a bunch of people in the desert that don't have reliable recorded histories? And I don't know. I just, if God exists, where the heck has he been since we have had cameras and microphones and all those things? It just, if there is a God and this God thinks that we should believe in him, and if we're going to go to hell for not believing in him, then shouldn't he make himself known to us so that we can believe in him and not burn for eternity or whatever it may be? So that's kind of part two. And part three, I guess, stems out of that. Is just, I like evidence. I like to believe in things if there's evidence for them. And I don't want to pretend to know things that I don't. And that's kind of a big problem. So anyway, if God exists, why are things so crappy for so many people, and where has he been? Anyway, this has been Jack Stedman Rants on Belief. Have a wonderful day, and bye.